Hello and welcome to Monday's That's Football. It's your latest football news across the world of football, and I'm trying to contain a smile here because the latest news basically is that Marouane Fellaini is going to sign for Liverpool. This is not made up, it's not April Fool's, that was a couple of weeks ago. Liverpool are interested in signing Marouane Fellaini on a 3-year deal. Now let's not forget, Fellaini is free. He's free to go. Many Manchester United fans like myself were thinking Mourinho's finally woken up and smelt the coffee. Didn't have Fellaini as part of the matchday squad for the Manchester derby. Boom, this is a real positive. Then we hear this morning it's because he had a slight injury. So, God forbid, it could have been a midfield three of Fellaini, Matic and Pogba, and not Herrera. So, you know, ridiculous. But I've got to be honest, I mean, why the hell would Liverpool want to sign Marouane Fellaini? He's the most far-removed player from what they did against Man City last week and what they tried to do, which is press teams and quickly and move the ball quickly. I mean, that is the bane of my life when it comes to Fellaini in a Manchester United shirt. He can't pass, and he's slower than a tortoise going backwards. So I can't understand why Liverpool would want it. However, the Liverpool Echo have come out and denied it for those reasons I've just said there. However, you've got to throw into the equation that Liverpool don't have a plan B. They don't have a plan B. They're very plan A. And who's the manager who can go to Anfield every season and stop them scoring? Who's the manager who can shut them down every single season? It's Mourinho. And Klopp needs to have a plan B. So you can say that Fellaini doesn't fit into what Liverpool play, and Liverpool can be all arrogant. Oh, we don't want him, we don't want him. Trust me, we don't want him at United either. But Liverpool do need a plan B. And actually, in a game where you can't break a team down, chucking Fellaini up as and to be fair to Fellaini, something United have never done, that Everton did week in, week out, was play Marouane Fellaini as a number 10. And he doesn't play there for United, and I think that's probably his best position. So let's just give you the report anyway. It's from L'Equipe in France, and they're saying that Liverpool have drawn up a 3-year deal for Manchester United and Belgian midfielder Marouane Fellaini, with PSG and Monaco also interested in the 30-year-old. Now, look, maybe that's what Liverpool are looking at. I would laugh. It's the one player I would let go to Liverpool, to be honest with you, but he is free. There are clubs interested in him. PSG have been mentioned. Monaco have been mentioned. Turkey football clubs have been mentioned. I personally, as a Manchester United fan, don't really care where he goes, as long as he goes. We've had him for long enough now. It's not about hate or anything like that. We've done our time with Fellaini. Someone else can have a go. Sticking with France and Manchester United for a moment, there is talk of Anthony Martial going to PSG in a sort of swap deal with Neymar plus money. So it'd be about £100 million plus Martial for Neymar to Manchester United. I'll leave that one with you folks, whether you're a United fan or not. I'll leave that with you. As a United fan myself, I'm a massive fan of Anthony Martial. I'd be gutted if he left Manchester United. Neymar's a very good footballer, but Neymar doesn't play for football teams. Neymar plays for Neymar FC. He's very, very selfish. And is that what United need at the moment? I would rather keep Martial, but it's in there. It's in there, and we'll see what happens. And John Sherrill says Liverpool can have Fellaini and Crouch, get them both, and Fellaini to score a winner at Old Trafford. Yeah, well, Liverpool would like him then, wouldn't they? In other news, Manchester United and Manchester City still battling for Shakhtar Donetsk midfielder Fred, Brazilian midfielder as well. He's 25, and apparently he's going to be moving this summer. It's a long-running deal that I could see him at Man City. I'd like to see him at Manchester United. He is that sort of Fernandinho midfielder. And I must keep saying we're going to do the watch-along tomorrow night for the second leg of City versus Liverpool. I'm actually really looking forward to that. I think I wasn't looking forward to it last Wednesday as a Manchester United fan. But I was able to take my hat off and just watch it. And you know what? It's going to be a good game to watch again. So looking forward to that. And I'm doing that watch-along tomorrow night, so join us for that. Everton are after £25 million summer move for West Ham and England left back Aaron Cresswell, and Liverpool midfielder Emre Can. He's out of contract at the end of the season, and he's going to make a decision about his future very soon. Many people think that he's almost ended his season early because he's not playing for Liverpool at the moment and he's got an injury. And Bayern Munich are ready to offer, this is quite significant news, this is from Bild in Germany. Bayern Munich are willing to offer new contracts to French winger Ribéry, 35, and Dutch wideman Robben, 34, both players out of contract in the summer. I remember doing a video about them on this channel back in January, and Ribéry was very impressive for Bayern Munich against Sevilla last week. And Robben, well, I don't know. It's an interesting one. I mean, it was only last week we some physical tests done on Ronaldo in relation to body mass and fat on his body. Although he's in his early 30s, every physical test he passed, he has the body equivalent of a 24-year-old. So how, you know, people say, like, I wouldn't want Ronaldo now, he's past it. But if he's passing tests like that, you know, physical tests that he's got the body of a 25-year-old or 24-year-old, that means he could play prime football for another 5 years. It's scary what people like Ronaldo and modern footballers can do. You think they hit 30 and that's the end of it, and for some people it does, but not necessarily the way. Sheffield Wednesday, for anybody who's a bit old school, George Hurst, not Jeff Hurst, he's the son of David Hurst. I remember him in his Sheffield Wednesday days. He's set to join Manchester United with the Championship side due compensation for the move. And a lot about Manchester United, obviously, because that Manchester United win, but Chelsea manager, I mean, I do want to talk about Chelsea for a minute. Drawing yesterday, slim chance of sort of getting top 4 football with Liverpool drawing to Everton. Obviously, they've got bigger fish to fry. And then they draw themselves at home to West Ham. I mean, Chelsea faced a massive summer. I think we'll obviously be covering it on this channel. I think Chelsea's summer is going to be very, very intriguing to watch because we've mentioned Willian will probably go, Cortez will probably go, Hazard I think will go, Conte will go, and that's just obvious players go and managers going. I think Morata's going to go as well, and I think again I was a big fan of Morata in the summer. I remember United being linked to him, and I think Morata could be good, but it's just not worked out at Chelsea, and I think he will personally feel it's just not worked out in the Premier League for him, and he'll be looking for a move as well. But Google's right, it's the battle for 6th, Arsenal versus Chelsea, and Arsenal obviously are trying to win the Europa League, and it looks like they'll be in the semi-finals. So Chelsea's season is fizzling out fast. They've got the FA Cup semi-final, you'd expect, or well, maybe you wouldn't. Is it Southampton in the other semi-final for them? United, Spurs in the other one. So Chelsea's season will pretty much hinge on an FA Cup. But even if they get that, it's not going to be good enough. It's a very similar situation to the one Van Gaal faced at United when he won the FA Cup, but he still got the sack because there was no Champions League football and he'd failed. And I think that's definitely coming down the way. Matthew McFadden says Morata is in no way prolific. 15 goal a season striker, good backup option. And Chelsea will go for Lewandowski, says HRR Legend. I mean, it's interesting who Chelsea will get as their manager next season because they're in for a really big rebuild. And again, I mean, I've been through that situation, and Arsenal are going through that situation this season whereby you're not in the Champions League, and it's a long way back. It's a whole season of being out of it coming up for Chelsea, and it's a rebuild season, and it'd be interesting to see who they get in. There is also talk of. Let me just have a quick look. No, that's not right. That's not right. I was going to say something there, but it's actually not right. Not a lot of love for Morata, and Morata not lighting up. Chicharito could do as well, says Mini Diver. Do you think Fulham will get promoted to the Premier League? Says Christopher White. You know what? Because we are live and this is That's Football. I'm going to display my ignorance here and say that I haven't looked at the Championship for a couple of weeks. I think Wolves are coming up, and I think they're going to be a very interesting proposition. But when you look at it, there are 5 games to go for Wolves, and they've got 89 points. They're not promoted yet, but they soon will be. Cardiff City in 2nd place with Warnock, and they've got a game in hand. If they win that, they would go 5 points clear of Fulham in 3rd. Aston Villa are looking definitely at the playoffs. They're a long way back on 73 points. Derby County, Middlesbrough, Millwall, and potentially Bristol City, Sheffield United, and as far down as Brenton and Preston North End could all be battling for a spot in the Premier League playoffs. But at the moment, it's looking between Fulham and Cardiff for that 2nd place. Who would I want back? God, it's difficult. I think the thing with me in relation to the Championship, and I'm going to be totally honest with this, the thing with me with the Championship is that I get a little bit tired of players coming through who are, teams coming through who are not big. I've sort of lost you know, your Bournemouths and the Burnleys, I'd rather see your Sheffield Wednesdays and your Leeds. And maybe that's because I'm a bit old school, but they've got big support. And they don't deserve to be there. 100% they don't deserve to be there. But if you're asking me, my personal opinion, I would rather see Sheffield Wednesday, Leeds, Aston Villa, the big teams back in the Premier League, because they come with some status and they come with big crowds, and you want those big crowds in the Premier League. It's taking nothing away from Burnley and Bournemouth and Barnsley and Fulham and all these clubs that aren't very, very big. If you get in the Premier League after 46 championship games, you deserve it. But I would rather see some of these big clubs coming through. So when I look at, I don't want Middlesbrough back up. I'm fed up of North East clubs. I've quite enjoyed not having Sunderland and Middlesbrough this year. They're non-entity clubs. They never do anything, and Newcastle's enough. And they don't do anything either. So I don't want Middlesbrough to come up. But looking at who's around, I'd love Bristol City to come up. Never been up in the Premier League. I'd love a club from Bristol to come. I mean, Sheffield Wednesday aren't going to get there. Sheffield United, outside chance. Millwall would be interesting if they got up. Derby County, would like to see Derby come up. Villa, obviously, I think would be favourites in the playoffs. So if you're asking me between Cardiff and Fulham, I'd probably say Cardiff, because it's a big club, isn't it? It's got a big support, whereas Fulham, it's just another London club and they're not that big. I know I'm going to upset people there, but it is my opinion. Yo-Yo Club says Beck Howell in relation to Sunderland, and love to have Leeds back for the rivalry with United, says Liam. Yeah, it would make it harder for us at Manchester United, because it would be another big game. But Wolves are interesting. I'm really looking forward to Wolves. Really looking forward to Wolves. I know a couple of Wolves fans from work, and they're playing good football. They've got good money. What they've done with George Mendes, I reckon they'll be a top 10 club next year, and they play good football as well. So yeah, interested to see about that. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching. Quick show, live every day at midday, obviously on That's Football in the week, Monday to Friday. So I'll be back tomorrow at midday. But also tomorrow night we've got the watch along, Man City versus Liverpool. Really looking forward to that. Looking ahead, the week ahead, just to give you a bit of a glimpse. So live every day at midday with the latest football news like this, interacting and all that jazz. Tomorrow night, Man City, Liverpool. Wednesday night is probably going to be Real Madrid, Juventus, just because it's the big game. But I'm tempted to do Sevilla, Bayern Munich. I don't know. Thursday, we'll do the Europa League. And Saturday, I think it's Saturday night. I'll have to go back to the website again here. Let me have a quick look. It's an interesting week for football, because there are some interesting games. So Thursday, Moscow, Arsenal should get through. Lazio are looking good, 4-2 up from the home leg. Leipzig are 1-0 up as well. That's interesting. And Atletico Madrid looks strong for that. Friday night football, Villa versus Leeds. I might watch that, actually. Don't know whether I'll do it on here. And Southampton, Chelsea, 12:30 on Saturday. Spurs City, 8 o'clock kickoff. That was the one I was thinking about doing next Saturday night. What else have we got? Just having a quick look. La Liga, not much going on in La Liga. Nothing good in there. Serie A, nothing much there. No, nothing much there. Let's have a look what's happening on Sunday. I'm just seeing if there's a Sunday game we could do. Newcastle, Arsenal. Yeah. Manchester United, West Brom. We'll be doing that on the United stand. Celtic, Rangers, Scottish Cup semi-final. Maybe we could do that. I think that's a good one to do then. 2:30 next Sunday. Wolverhampton Wanderers against Birmingham, if you fancy that. Some good games. Good games, good games. Serie A, Lazio Roma on the night. And AC Milan Napoli at 2 o'clock. Some good games. PSG Monaco, French League, 8 o'clock Sunday night. Some good games. Good games. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Lots going on That's Football, and we're enjoying building it out with you. So if you are new, subscribe. Keep spreading the word. And lots going on. Another big week ahead on That's Football. And I'll be on the United stand at 1 o'clock doing a tactics debrief for the weekend. Really looking forward to that. See you all soon.